Welcome to the Weekend Update for Liberty Leadership and Lies with Larry Linton. Let's lead off today with some national news and headlines first. Then we'll get into the local and state. So on the national news, we could talk a little bit about what has everybody's attention right now. Well, it seems like I was only half right in my belief that relying on the Supreme Court would be wrong. Well, they did put a stay on the OSHA vaccine mandate. Frankly, I'm a bit surprised by that. Even more surprised that it was a 6-3 decision. What is not surprising is that the Supreme Court let stand the child sniffer-in-chief's healthcare workers' vaccine mandate. In true Babylon Bee fashion, those geniuses over there captured the two decisions in an appropriate fashion. Regarding the healthcare workers' vaccine mandate, their headline reads, SCOTUS rules healthcare workers are the only people who can't make decisions about their own healthcare. That is a spot-on summation of that erroneous decision. On the OSHA mandate, there were a couple of great headlines from the Bee. One concerns the Pfizer CEO, and it is this. The headline says, Pfizer CEO condemns SCOTUS ruling as a clear violation of our constitutional right to produce experimental drugs and use the full power of government to force the entire population to inject them into their bodies. Brilliant, right? Have you seen how the Pfizer CEO's video about him admitting that 2 shots of his vaccine aren't very effective? And now that Twitter's suppressing that video? Jeez. But there's another B headline about the recent SCOTUS decision, and it is this. Supreme Court sets dangerous precedent of letting American people make medical decisions for themselves. I have to tell you all that every time I read their headlines and the accompanying articles, I really get a kick out of it. I'm sure the communists and socialists everywhere scream at them for the loads of sarcastic truth they have in them. With regards to the OSHA mandate, stand by for more rending of garments and gnashing of teeth, because this line of attack by the tyrants did not succeed. Now on to the local scene, and more specifically my campaign. Things are moving along. I've had a couple of really productive meetings during my time at home that are sure to bear fruit during the campaign. If anybody here would like to be a part of my campaign as a volunteer over the summer or early fall, just send an email to Larry-4, that is F-O-R, -TN12 at protonmail.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Hopefully, the state's redistricting plan will be finalized over the next couple of weeks so that I can pick up my petition to run for office. The earliest I'll be able to do that is on the 7th of February. It is starting to get really exciting, folks. I am so looking forward to the challenge, but more importantly, getting out to meet as many members of this community as possible. On the statewide front, there are a few things going on. First, the General Assembly went back into session last week, but I only expect more of the same from them. However, there are a couple of liberty-minded individuals that do serve currently, and they are doing some good things. Look into what State Senator Janice Bowling is working on, as well as Representative Bruce Griffey. If you can support their efforts in any way, please do so. It benefits every Tennessean. Representative Griffey has filed for legislation calling for paper ballots in elections. Election integrity is one of my biggest concerns, and paper ballots will go a long way to ensuring the legitimacy of any election. I believe these efforts need to be duplicated all over these United States of America. And then back on the topic of the SCOTUS ruling, this is what our Governor Lee tweeted out when the rulings were issued. He said, Today, SCOTUS affirmed that American workers have a right to make healthcare decisions with their doctors, not because of a government mandate. I believe healthcare workers deserve the same consideration, and we are looking at our options. Really? Looking at our options? Hey, Governor, guess what? It's called the 10th Amendment to the Constitution. There's also a process called nullification. Those are the two best and constitutional options you have. Use them exactly like you were elected to do. Until next week, this has been the Weekend Update of Liberty Leadership and Lies with Larry Linton. Be sure and visit libertyleadershipandlies.com and all of our social media to keep up with the show and the campaign. I pray you all have a wonderful weekend. Stand in the arena with me. Reveille, it's time to wake up.